Just Max. Max, period. Max, underlined.
Yeah, not period. We've been through that already.
Max, period. This is my Max, period.
Yes.
Hello, everyone who's watching. Welcome to WUSSY Talk. My name is Brigitte Bidet, and this is...
Max.
Hey, well, what are you here for?
I'm here for the Black Hearts Ball, sort of like an anti-Valentine's Day thing.
Do you have a Valentine?
I'm gonna have to say it's myself.
That's good.
Say Miranda sings.
Miranda sings. Are you a YouTuber?
No, just Miranda sings. Just a huge Miranda sings fan.
Hey Miranda, if you're watching, Max is a fan.
I'm a fandom. I'm here.
I'm a fandom. What do you think of like super internet queens?
I just commend people for staying focused enough to like produce all of that content. I get so lost.
You can produce some pretty nice content from. I've seen video work.
Yes, there's been some stuff that I've done with my ex-partner, I'll say.
Okay. Oh, is that like
Rest in
news?
peace. It's not super news, no. And it's especially like not news now that it's anti-Valentine's Day party.
Yeah,
my old
this
partner.
goes out to you. If Max is a lip color, what color is Max?
Ooh, like the kind of the one that I have on right now. I think.
I'm feeling what
like
would we call that?
Bluish purple, like a
Poisonberry.
a deep poisonberry.
Burgundy
I like to say
poisonberry.
that. My dark purple blue poisonberry.
Where are you from?
I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Right now I live in Minneapolis, but I'm from the East Coast originally. I like to tell people that because I sound a lot
Waspy.
Midwestern. Yeah, waspy. Yeah.
Like a Kennedy.
That's very true. I like to tell people that so I sound waspy. I got my start sort of like musical theater, etc. So I did like Rocky Horror, I did cabaret, I did the shows that people do in their
Gender
late
fuck
teen, early 20s.
kind of thing.
Yeah. And originally, actually, my drag name was going to be Violet.
Oh my god,
And
that's
I'm really
fucking
glad,
hilarious.
really glad that it wasn't.
I think that's interesting though because you talk about how you got into it from gender fuck, like Rocky Horror, but I would argue that Max is like hyper feminine.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
have you
like
never
no-
heard that?
No, I just feel like I'm some sort of in between. I just don't. I guess maybe I have body dysmorphia and I just see a big jaw or something.
A lot of people do. What's your theory on drag makeup because it's so refined? What do you value in a mug?
Good highlight, good blended highlight, like where the tops of your cheekbones are supposed to be, and like you can really do a lot with a good highlight. Like you can create a lot of good illusions for yourself.
Take note. How have you connected with your fans since Drag Race?
I don't know. I've had like a interesting experience post Drag Race. I've had a lot of like anxiety. I don't know. I'm a very reclusive drag queen, so it's weird to all of a sudden be very public.
How do you feel that social media has affected you since Drag Race?
I feel like I've turned into a lot more of like a little old lady since Drag Race. I think it has a lot to do with like...
Were you not one before?
Oh, but more of one. Like actually, physically.
Do you feel like you were misrepresented at all ever on television?
I get a little shy, you know, and I like freeze up a little bit. And that happened during Snatch Game. That was for sure one of the things that like I had an out-of-body experience. The part where I sat on the edge of the stage and sang some shit, that was placed weirdly, but
that was not chronological?
No, it was not chronological, but that's the one thing.
How did it go from you being like, I'm hot, to you being like, oh, Maria?
Yeah. I'm not a super big cincher, so I was like pretty tight for myself that day. And I was like, ooh, it's hot under these stage lights and this and that. And I started to feel a little wheezy and woozy. And I sat down on the edge of the stage and I like popped my corset off. And I was, you know, you don't think that they're going to be filming it. You hope that they're not going to be filming, at least not going to like put it into part of the episode. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll sing a little bit of Over the Rainbow. Oh no, wait, I'm going to sing a little bit of the end of A Star Is Born where she's sitting on the edge of the stage and it's perfect and that's like what time it is. So I sang like 2 bars of that.
And it bit you in your tiny little ass.
Tiny little.
Have you done more singing since?
Oh yeah. Yes, I do a lot more singing now. I've brushed up on my Star Is Born stage ending. But someday I'll have like backup dancers and
Are you producing anything right now? Working on a show?
Oh yes, actually. It is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it is like a 13-song cabaret review of sort of like what made Max in the first place. Yeah, just the Chronicles. It's basically like a Chronicles show.
So is there any Southern influence in Max at all? Have you been to the South?
A little bit of
spent time in the
Scarlett
South?
O'Hara. A little bit of Scarlett O'Hara.
Do you like Gone with the Wind?
I am offended by some parts of Gone with the Wind just because, like...
You're socially conscious.
I'm socially conscious.
And then the author got hit by a truck on Peachtree Street.
Really?
So...
Oh, by Margaret Mitchell.
C'est la vie. You know, anything's possible. I
On
want you to
Peachtree
remember
Street.
that.
Margaret Mitchell got ran down on Peachtree Street.
We'll show you the house if you have time.
Yeah, the death house.
What is a must-do for people just getting into drag? If
Oh,
anything
God.
else, you must...
Force yourself to work through your fears.
But have you made any friends from your travels or like people that you're working with now?
Yeah, I mean every time I go to a place where there's some cool savvy bitch who probably knows more about drag than I do and is like on top of their shit and walks in the door all cool, I'm like, hey, I want to know you. No, that's all you get.
She's like, not you, but like when I meet someone
But like
that.
when that happens.
What are like 5 films that every woman must have watched? Or maybe 3 if 5 is a lot.
I was gonna say, I like the movie Ziegfeld Girl, All About Eve, Wizard of Oz, The Shining.
Love you, Steven. Mr. King. I don't know how it prefers to be addressed. What's something that you do before every show?
Panic.
How can we stay tuned on everything Max?
Instagram, Max Collective. Twitter, Max Collective. Facebook, The Max Collective. Or themaxcollective@gmail.com.
Well, onward and upward, Max.
Yes.
Everything
Upward
you
for
got
real.
going for you. Say goodbye, Wussy.
Goodbye, Wussy!
Follow us and follow Max Collective, Max, the Max, Max underline,
Yeah,
on
but-
any avenue.
Mostly follow Wussy.
Follow all of us. Follow us straight to